right, guys, so I am so excited to be sharing my PicMonkey ninja secrets with you guys. PicMonkey has become something that I just absolutely love and adore. I love to scrapbook, but I'm also a perfectionist, so this is PicMonkey's kind of become my way to be creative and let my creative side out, and it still looks professional. So don't feel like you have to know everything with PicMonkey. It took me 2 years to figure it all out. Not that you can't learn it faster, but there's just little tips and tools and things that I have to share with you guys about PicMonkey, the different things that you can do, and different things like that. Now, one thing I want to tell you is you need to create those things that are eye-catching for you. So some people are very, they like creativity. They like to use PicMonkey as an outlet, like I said, for scrapbooking. That's me. So the images I try to create are images that would stop me from scrolling. They would stop me. But that doesn't mean they would stop you if you're someone who is not into crafting, who isn't, super creative in that aspect. You don't really care, So don't just use PicMonkey for your style. But I have a few tips that I want to share with you, and just a few things to show you on how I've done this. Also, I had people asking me on how I created a certain image, so I'm going to try to help you learn how to recreate that one, just to give you an idea with all my tips. Okay, so I'm going to share my desktop. Okay, so I got asked about this Passionista post, how I created it, all of that. So first I want to start off with this picture. Let me actually pull up the original picture. I'm sure I have it. Let me see. It's probably in my download. Okay, so this is the original picture. Let me flip it to the right. Okay, this is the original picture. Now here's what I want to tell you about this picture. The lighting is all natural. So what I did is I have this big picture window in my bedroom, and it has the best, your sunlight, you guys, is the best filter ever. Artificial lighting is okay, but honestly, if you're wanting to find, you're wanting it to just have a beautiful picture of yourself, stand in front of a window. I literally put my phone, this is a picture I took with my phone. I set it up on the window sill because it has a middle ledge. I hit the timer button, and I stood in front of my window. Now, another thing to point out about this picture, two things. Background. Background is super important. You don't want a lot of stuff going on in the background. You want it a pretty blank. Now, this has some stuff going on, but it's pretty easy to work around. The other thing you want to think about is your hair. That sounds really cheesy, but if you're wanting to cut yourself out of the picture, you're going to have to be able to go through and erase around yourself. I really struggle when my hair's curly because making it look right because, you're cutting out or what's around it. So be aware of your hairstyles. That doesn't mean you can't rock the curly hair. It just means it might take you a little bit longer to figure out. So this is the picture I took, like I said, in front of my window. One thing I will tell you guys is if you are wanting, you're wanting a bunch of professional looking pictures, it doesn't take a whole lot. Like this picture to me, I love this picture of myself. And like I said, I took it myself. I got ready one morning. I was like, hey, I'm looking pretty good today. Let's take some selfies. And so I've done a few poses in this outfit so that I can use them later on. So if you're having a day where you're feeling fierce and bad, take some pictures. Don't feel bad about changing really quick and just stocking up, because those days that you're feeling good about yourself, you can use them later on. So this is the original picture. And how I go in to erase is you're going to go to PicMonkey.com. You're going to click on Design. Now this is super important. You're going to click on Design, and I usually just click it and it goes to a square. See the square? Now the cool thing about PicMonkey is they have this thing called transparent canvas. And if you click on that, it's going to make this image have no background. So whatever you put on here, it's just going to be that with no background. But while I erase, I always leave it just with a white background. Then you click on this little butterfly, and you click on your own. You're going to select your own picture. Sorry, you guys, I'm fighting a cold, so I'm sniffling a lot. Okay, so I clicked my picture. I'm going to make it bigger. Now look, did you notice that my picture is flipped on the Passionista post? That is because these arrows right here let you flip it upside down, or it'll mirror image it. I wanted it mirror imaged. I wanted it this direction, so I mirror imaged it. Now you're going to click the eraser tool. Okay, this is important. See this eraser hardness? When you go to erase, let me make it bigger just to show you. I'm just going to show you what you don't want to do. If you have this hardness big, the minute you click, it's like, look, a perfect circle, right? Well, with your pictures, let's undo this back arrow to undo. With your pictures, you want it to be soft around. If you can notice on this picture over here, there is some black, like it's almost like, I don't know, glowing kind of. You want that because it's not so hard, it's not so rigid, people's eyes aren't drawn to it. So I bring down my hardness to about 20, sometimes a little less depending, about 20. Now watch. See how it does that? It's not looks like a cutout circle. It's kind of got this flare to it. And all you're going to do is you're going to go through and erase. So I usually use my bigger circle to erase the bigger, bigger areas. And then when you are closer, you can come in here, zoom in, take your eraser size, however you want it to be, and you can just go around your picture, okay? So one thing I will tell you is you're going to want to click quite a bit. Like you're going to want to let off your mouse button a lot because to undo, you don't want it to undo everything you did. So this is your back button. It's going to undo or redo for you. So you're just going to sit here and erase. And that's how I got my picture the way it is. You just sit there and erase and then get it closer to, yourself. So here in this picture, I'm not going to erase the whole thing. It doesn't take a long time, but for the video purpose, I'm not going to. However, it's going to cut into it. So that's why you want to do the hardness so small, or, about 20%, because you don't want it to be this hardness against yourself. And then when you come in, see this where it's like a little more black than you want, you're going to just zoom in. I'm going to bring my eraser size down. And you're just going to erase around yourself. It's super easy. But what I mean by cutting out all the noise is it's a lot easier when when your background behind you is not so busy, because then you don't have to worry about getting super, super close to yourself. Okay, so that's how I erase. Then when you're done, you're just going to click Save. It's going to come in here. It's going to, hold on, just kidding. You're not going to click Save because you don't want the white background, right? You want it to be transparent. You want it to be what they call a PNG file. So you're going to come in here, Canvas Color, Transparent Canvas. So now this is what it would look like if I were to drop it into this picture over here, like the cutouts and everything, okay? You're just going to apply it, save it. It'll say PNG. You want to make sure it says PNG. You're going to title it and save it. That's all you have to do for the eraser. Super easy, right? It does take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little getting used to, but honestly, it's not as hard as it looks. So that's how you're going to do that. Now, to create this Are You a Passionista? This one, right here. You're going to go into Design. Now, this size isn't any of these sizes, so I'm going to custom it. I have found that I like 2,000 by 1,000. I make that one the size? Hold on, let me look. So actually, this one I actually made is 2,000 by 1,500. Okay, so here's my white background. I'm going to push apply. Now I have this black background that I like. So how I started this picture is I went into the butterfly. I clicked my own. My picture, hold on. I cut out. And here it is. I'm just gonna, and say maybe I wanted to flip it back. I could. I'm not going to this time. I'm just gonna do it the way I have it in the picture. So I'm gonna set it down right here. I'm going to drag it up. Okay. Now, going back to my hair, as you can see, there is brown in it, but it's not noticeable. So I'm not going to worry about that. I wouldn't go back and erase it. You could if you wanted to. The eraser tool is here again. So if you needed to go back in and erase that, you could. I'm not going to because I don't need to. Okay, so I've got my picture in there. I'm now going to make my stripes, which is super easy. I'm going to go into the geometric, click on the rectangle. The rectangle tool I love so much more than the square. The square is just a square. You can't do anything else with it. The rectangle, on the other hand, you can make it into a little line and long. So you could just make it into a line. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So I'm going to make this. I'll move this down. And how I usually try to do this is I try to line it up as best as I can. I know that it's a little bit bigger. Oops. I try to line it up next to the picture if it's something I'm trying to replicate, something I've done before. Anyway, so I'm going to come over here, set it down. Drag it across. Okay, now you're thinking, well, it's in front of her. What is she going to do? Super easy. You're going to left click on your mouse, send it to the back. There we go. Okay, then I'm just going to left click on it again. I'm going to duplicate the overlay. I made this one a little bit wider. It's back. Super easy. Now, you can either go in and save this so that you don't have to worry about clicking on these layers while you're putting your text in there, or you can leave it like this. It doesn't matter. Now, you may be thinking, okay, her eyes look a little brighter, or, something like that. They are. Okay, so I don't recommend photoshopping yourself 100%. You want it to still look like you. But sometimes with photos and things like that, you want to just brighten up your eyes, make your, So I go in, I click on Eye Brighten. Zoom in. Sometimes this is what's funny. Okay, so sometimes with PicMonkey, I would have to save this and come back in and redo my eyes because I don't know why. I think it's a glitch in their system. So anyway, if you wanted to brighten your eyes up, kind of just make them a little more shiny, that's what I did in this one, if you can see it. I didn't do much other than brighten my eyes up. And that's all I did. But anyway, okay. So now that you have this, how do you get all of this? The colors and everything. Obviously, it's a bunch of text, but one of my little ninja tricks is I use this site called Design Seeds. Now, you may have seen all of these floating around on Pinterest. I mean, they're everywhere. These are so cool. So I use Design Seeds just to make my pictures come together because, you know, it's hard to color coordinate. It's hard to figure out what color schemes work. Like, you have ideas in your head, but on PicMonkey it can be hard when you're in here trying to, you know, write something in text, and it's you know, you're trying to find the color like on this drop scale. Like, for example, I'll show you. RUA ... Okay, so highlight it. It's hard to find it here, right? Like, I want to find a nice navy color, but how do you know, unless I know the color code for it, it's really hard to find them. So I've used Design Seeds. Let me move this really quick. Design Seeds, you can Google them. You don't have to use their site. Their site isn't always the easiest to navigate, but I just really like the different options that they have for you. You can look at palette searches. So maybe you're wanting autumn colors. You could just click on autumn, and it's going to give you all the different autumn themes. So, like, I really like that one. So that might be one that you would use sometime. Okay. So, and the reason I went with black here instead of the navy is just because of my shirt. But anyway, okay. So click on your little butterfly. Once you've saved your design seed, just left click it, save it into your computer. Click on your own. Let's see. Don't know what I named it. Passion colors. Okay, so what I do, make it bigger, move it over to the left where it's not in the way. Okay, so I want this to be navy blue, or I want it to be that blue color. So this box, all you got to do is click this rectangle right here, the little eyedropper, move it over. Oh, my mouse is acting funny. Okay. Click on it. There you go. Then you can center it however you want. Size it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. Get way too big. Sorry, guys. Okay. And there you go. And that's how I get all of my colors. Now, something I also wanted to share with you, another ninja trick that I have found recently, which I'm sure some of you know about, but I'm kind of a slow learner, so I didn't know about this. There is a site called dafont.com, DAFONT.com. Hopefully this page. Okay. This site allows you to download fonts for free. And the cool thing is, PicMonkey recognizes those fonts. So say you wanted this font right here, or you wanted a font that, you know, the ones like a banner type font. I have a banner type font, and I click on text. Ours is there, fonts available. I recommend paying for the membership. It's not very much, and it allows you all access to the site, so you don't have to have it if you don't want to. And then here's the banner. So I would just click add text, and I can type funny story, I actually used to make these fonts all by myself. Like, I made these banners because I saw them from another team, and I thought, oh, those are so cool. I can't believe they spend all that time making those. And then I realized that there's a site that makes the banners for them. So that is my little ninja trick on that, because there are so many cool fonts on this site, so many different things you can look through. Typewriter fonts. They have ones like, let's see, comic books. It's just fun. So then I just go through and type my text, and so this one would just say hashtag Passionista. Highlight it. If it's not the one you want, click on it. This one's Coffee Break. I really love the Coffee Break font. I think it's really cute, and it's actually a new one they just added. And then I just go through, and I just keep adding my text. So it's really simple. Once I'm done, I click on this design seed, delete it, click save. Name it and save it. That's it. That's how easy this is, you guys. Like, PicMonkey is not complicated. The reason I love it, I am terrible at Photoshop, and the reason is because it's overwhelming. I'm sure you've had that. It's overwhelming, and this is so simple because you just click and drag and drop. Just to go over a few things, this is the crop tool, canvas color, that kind of stuff. You could resize it. This is your effects, so if you wanted to make it all black and white, you could do that. It's a little harder on when you're doing this multi-layer type stuff. So I always recommend, if you wanted this picture to be black and white, just to go to PicMonkey.com in another tab and create it that way, and then bring it back into the photo. This is your makeup. You can wrinkle remover, airbrush, blemish fix, eyebrow pencils, eyeshadow. I don't recommend the weight loss one. Like, you want to be honest with your clients. You know, you just want to enhance yourself. You don't necessarily want to, remake yourself. Text, all the different texts. So many different fun ones. This one's going to be all your different, like stickers, clip art. So we've got anchors, nautical type stuff, lines, leaves, trees. I mean, lots of fun stuff. Frames, if you wanted to put it in a picture frame type thing, you could do shape cutout. That one's really good if you're wanting to make it a circle. This one is your texture, so if you wanted to add like different lighting to it, you could. If you wanted, I don't really use any of those ones. This one's kind of fun too. I actually just created, I'll actually show you really quick. I just created this one. It'll recognize it. Go into pictures. I just made this one last night. For my next challenge group. And they have an elf, so see this one. So I went in here into PicMonkey, I took my picture, and I went into Santa Land, because that's like their little theme. And I gave myself a little hat. Obviously, my hair is not perfect in this picture for that, but I could make it bigger or smaller. I could give myself little reindeer antlers. Oops. Mouse. I got a new mouse. It's not acting right. Okay. I wanted to do that. It allows you to do gray hair if you want. A cherry nose. I did a cute little cherry nose because I thought that was fun. I think it like blows up your nose really funny when I did it. Like I said, when you're doing these cosmetic type ones, sometimes you have to save it and come back in and put the like cosmetic type stuff on. But I did all of that. They have like little evergreen trees, ornaments. I think you can see on here, I did this little, these little reindeer, and what I did with that is they have the reindeer, and they're obviously like, black. You can make them whatever color you want, and then I just fade the picture so that they're just like a little shadow barely there. So many fun, exciting things to do with PicMonkey. Don't let it overwhelm you. Another thing, I'm going to X out of this. I'm not going to save it. Another thing you can do with PicMonkey is create collages. So let's say we'll just use this one. You can go in here and save the collage. So a lot of times when I make like our Success Club banners or anything like that, I click ducks in a row. I click and drag and drop pictures into it. I save them, and then I go in and make the banner. You can edit them. You can click on it. So you wanted to edit this one because you wanted it black and white. Just pick basic, or effects, I mean. You're going to click black and white. You could open it in the image editor and fix it, all of that fun stuff. Super easy, like I said. PicMonkey is PicMonkey is incredible. It's so easy to use. It's so much fun. I will tell you this, you're going to want to set yourself a time limit on PicMonkey because it could suck a lot of time out of your life. I've gotten down to being pretty quick at it, but don't be afraid to look at other people's images that they have that speak to you and try to recreate them in a way that speaks, to you. So it's okay. Like, I'm always looking at different coaches' images like this and saying, okay, how can I make this my color scheme what I like? And once you kind of get that down, then you can start to really let your creativity flow, and it's really, really fun. So like I said, don't get sucked into it for too long. Set timers. Make sure that you are getting your 3 vitals done before you jump into PicMonkey. I actually have to tell myself that because PicMonkey is something I love so much that I actually, it's a reward for me. So I have to say, okay, you have to get X, Y, and Z done today, and then you can jump on PicMonkey to create whatever it is you need to create. So I hope this helps you guys. It's something I love. If you have any questions, let me know. I would love to answer them for you. Thanks for listening to this. I can't wait to see all of your amazing images, and keep on being awesome. Love you all.